The light field, in contrast to the demon realm, really does sound far more benign. But appearances can be deceiving because the light field represents personality consciousness programming that has been filtered through the primary 16 consciousness crystal bundles that surround our planet Earth. And I say the primary 16 consciousness crystal bundles because there are far more now, and that's really as a result of the dying process of us humans, where our consciousness crystal at death is designed to go back to its original source bundle. But it is a process that we have to go through, a bardo process, and if that's interrupted, well, consciousness crystals do not get picked up and they start to accumulate in their own rogue bundle, so to speak. In many countries, there's a tradition of burning bodies almost immediately after death, or the body is moved very quickly from where it was deceased, interrupting this 3-day bardo. And that's really the problem. It's not the burning or the burying, it's moving the body too quickly after death that can interrupt this return cycle to the source from which our individual consciousness crystal came. And that's what creates these manifold other crystal consciousness aggregations that are also floating around planet Earth that can refract programming data, but primarily it's the 16 that is responsible for light field programming. So these consciousness crystal bundles represents what are called the Godheads. And of course, each of these 16 primary Godheads have their own agenda, and thus the information that impacts us through the sleeping process can be very, very conflicting, because the information pouring in through these consciousness crystals and impacting us through these light field gates is so disparate in nature, representing all kinds of perspectives and agendas of each of these programming forces, which of course will be played with by our shadow minds when we wake up. So in terms of the sleeping body graph, the light field has the same number of gates as the earth plane and the demon realm. This is a 15-gate matrix, and the portal or the bridging gate for the light field is the 62nd gate. This gate is called love. And I know love in terms of the waking design and the 62nd gate, well, this is not the gate you would necessarily choose as any kind of romantic gate, because it is a gate of expressed logical details in the waking design. So unless you love someone spouting detail at you, it would be bizarre to see this as any kind of romantic gate. But in the sleeping world of our programming, and remember it's programming, it's data that we are receiving, well, the love here is more the love you would get from some kind of ally in your dream. So the love referred to in the name of this gate is more of a cosmic love. This is information coming through these Godheads, remember. So it's a way where we receive very detailed programming from these Godheads. And the rest of the light field construct is basically individual. We have the identity with the first gate. This is called joy, another lovely light field name, and I will be giving you an insight into these light field, demon realm and earth plane gates and line structures in other videos. This is just an overview of the light field domain itself. So we have love and joy, and ultimately this gate of joy is really referring to an ability to maintain one's spirit in the darkness of the form, the demon realm. And the other side of the first gate, also a light field gate, is the 8th gate. This is called darkness. In the waking domain, this would be holding together, and one would imagine that the demon realm is responsible for darkness, but in fact it's not. It's the 8th gate that shrouds everything in darkness in the dreamscape. And then we move to the spleen, the 57th gate, a wonderful gate of individual and integration, intelligence ultimately. In the waking design, this is called the gentle, the gate of intuition. And because it's individual, it's acoustic, so this is where we hear things, hear acute messages in the dream. This 57 in the sleeping domain is called attunement. And because the spleen is existential, this is where we receive existential acoustic information in our dreams. And finally, the 20th gate that would form the channel of the brainwave in the waking design. The 1-8 is the channel of inspiration. Well, the 20th gate is called sight. So these are dreams ultimately where visual information becomes very important in terms of the information coming through. Rather than paying attention to the drama of the dream, is ultimately aspects of what you see that are important information that you need. But this is a gate, the 20th gate, that is designed really to wake you up. And if you remember some of my other videos where I talked about chemistry transference, codon transference, at the point where we do wake up, well, this is one of the techniques of the program at night, certainly through the 20th gate, to wake us up so that we can be imprinted by this codon transference. But of course it doesn't make for a nice unbroken night's sleep. And for more information about these light field gates, refer to my other videos that are available to pro members through your Genetic Matrix hub.